Hello everyone and welcome to lesson number 4. Today we will be learning how to create grid designs. Grid designs are geometric patterns that basically use a crisscross pattern to create a more structured look. Here are a few examples of grid patterns that are used in Henna Designs. So whenever you're making grid patterns, they always start off with a mesh. And it's totally up to you if you want the mesh to be tight or if you want the mesh to be loose. We can have different variations with both tight grids and loose grids. Over here we have a fairly moderate grid, or you can call it a mesh. Diagonal lines. Changing how the mesh is made, whether tight or loose, the entire look of the design changes. For example, let's just do this side by side. Over here we have a loose grid, and over here in this box I'm going to make a tight mesh. I know if you don't know how to draw a grid, maybe what you can do is mark at intervals like that, and then start your line from those intervals. Try to keep them as straight as possible. It's fine if any one of your line is not that straight. You can always cover it up later. Another tip for the other side is that you start your line with where the other diagonal line is starting from. Our aim is to draw boxes, make boxes that are equal in size. But when we're making a very tight mesh, it's possible that the sizes of the boxes might be different, but it's fine. We can always cover that up when we make our pattern. So over here we have two types of meshes. One is a loose grid and one is a very tightly made mesh. So we can leave this as it is in a design as well, but to make it more intricate, we always add different kinds of elements. The first one is dots. We can add dots in this to make it look different or make it look more intricate. You can add the dots in the middle or however you like it. The placement of the dot is also going to change the design. So let's just start with the middle first, and you will see how different this is going to look. So we have middle dots in our loose mesh, and I'm just going to add very tiny dots inside our tight mesh. Try to add them in the middle. So now if you want, you can leave it as it is, or if you want to make it more intricate, we can add dots somewhere else in this mesh as well. However, what we're going to do is maybe change the size of the dot, and we can make the dot on the intersection of the lines. So if we draw at the intersection and make a thicker dot, a bigger dot, let's see how that looks. Looks really nice. Let's do it here in our tight mesh. So over here, you have to make sure that the dot is not too big, but slightly bigger than the one that we've drawn in the center. So there's some type of variation. If we draw it too big, then it might intersect with the other dot and smudge the entire design. So you can see how the mesh, the size of the mesh can make a big difference in your design. Another variation of the mesh can be with another element. Instead of adding dots, maybe we can add teardrops or maybe a leaf shape inside. Let's see how that looks. For that, first we have to draw a mesh. For drawing the straight lines, I'm using the draping technique. Okay, over here we're adding some other type of element, which was either a leaf or a teardrop. Let's do a leaf instead. We can decide from where we want the leaf to start. We can change the orientation of it. So if we start from the top, this is how it's going to look. I'm just going to do a few of these and then do something else in the rest, so we can see how placement changes the entire design. So you see how it looks if it started from the top. If you started from the left side, this is how it's going to look. So you can see how orientation of the leaf is changing the entire look of the pattern. Another way is to treat four boxes as a whole and then draw the leaf shape around it, creating a flower, which is going to be something like this. If this is my center point of these four boxes, my leaf is going to start from here, move here, it's going to start here. This is how it looks, following the exact same principle in these four boxes. So these are just variations of how you can create your own grid patterns, and only by a little variation you can change the entire look. You can try this with teardrop shape as well. That's going to look really good. Let's draw a circle, a dot in the middle to make it look more intricate, and this is how it looks. Another variation that you can add is make this line around our star or our flower dotted. So maybe something like this. You see how just adding slight variations, the entire design changes. So in this box, again, we're going to use the leaf shape. However, this time it's going to be a little different. Let's just draw the mesh first before starting. So this time, instead of drawing anything inside, we're going to draw on the line. But what we are drawing is, we have a dot here, but it's flicked towards this side and the other side, something like this. So basically, you start with little pressure, increase the pressure as you go ahead, and you form this shape. Let's do it over here again. Increase the pressure and increase, 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 and decrease. So slightly increase, keep moving your nib and decrease. So this is how it's going to look. Do all the lines like that. So over here, if you want, you can leave it like this. However, if you want to make it look more intricate, there are other elements that we can add in this grid to make it a more intricate pattern. Maybe we can add dots in the intersection if you want. However, I'm not going to add dots because we've already done that over here. Let's do something different. So at this intersection, I'm going to add a cross. So it starts from over here and goes down there. Make sure you use the draping technique, because whenever we are drawing something over mehndi, it should always you should always use the draping technique. Otherwise, your design might smudge. So we've got crosses at all the intersections, and you can see how intricate this looks already. Okay, over here we can make this further more intricate by adding tiny dots at the cross at the ends of the lines like this. This is totally up to you. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, another thing that you can do is you can add dots in the middle instead. So again, this is totally your preference. Whatever you like to do, you can do it here.